All right, you are live on WOLFpak TV. I'm your host, Wendy Fortino, and I am here. I'm going to introduce my guest. I'm here with the one and only, the legendary Lion of Lebanon, Samir Bannout, Mr. 1983, Mr. Olympia, the sixth ever Olympia of all time. And there are so many more things I could say about him, but I'm going to stop there for now. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Wendy.
Yeah.
Just being there with you, I'm happy because you're the one I really want to talk to.
I love that. I love that. Yes, we are going to get into it. Just so you all know, I'm going to give you a little teaser clip here. But we are right now talking to a legend of our sport who has extensive knowledge and experience in posing. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive into it. Before we get started, though, I have a little sprinkle of your past, if you don't mind, that we're going to watch as a couple minutes. So Let's go.
To be Mr. Olympia, I just knew that one day I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. So it's not about the size of things. It's not about the size of the dog. It's the bite of the dog.
Now, the result.
I bet you played this in your mind over the
In second place.
They called him the Lion of Lebanon. And for good reason. When he stepped on stage at the 1983 Mr. Olympia, he looked unstoppable. Facing off against legends like Muhammad Makawi, Lee Haney, and Frank Zane. Samir brought the best version of himself the world had ever seen.
Bam.
Samir Bannout, die startnummer 11.
To me, it was nothing gonna stop me. If you tell me train 100, I train 300. Have to go on 500 calorie diet, I'll do it.
And when it was all said and done, he walked away with the Sando Trophy. Just like that, Samir Bannout became the sixth man in history to win the Mr. Olympia title, forever etching his name into the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame.
In second place, Muhammad Makawi, Egypt. Mr. Olympia, 1983, Samir Bannout.
And I knew always I had the potential to win the Olympia.
I'm going to the gym right now. I'm going to the gym.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great memory. Great memory. You know, some of those statements I made, they were a little crazy, but I was really positive. I wanted to do it. I wanted it bad.
Yeah.
I wanted it bad. Wendy, I'm like you, you all discipline, you put your tunnel vision 100% into your goal and you go after it. And that was the same with me. I really wanted to go all the way. And, it's like, they don't, when they don't remember second and third, they only remember number one. So if you don't win it, it's not gonna,
Yeah.
you gotta make history. You gotta win it. And, I really was fortunate enough, and I did my very best. And my approach for the Olympia was like, you could say I'm like perfectionist, thanks to my dad. My dad was he was so hard on me about doing things. My dad wouldn't even like me to be in the top 5 in my class. He wanted me to be number 1. That's the way his mentality.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know, we dream about it, but we want to walk. We have to walk the walk and to get to the dream. And
yes,
we make it happen. And
you did.
So
Well, here's the thing about you, your era is, I think there had been a lot of, transitional phases in the bodybuilding world, and your era, we call it the golden era because the physiques, the physiques were so classic. And your posing was the posing and the like size and the form. I mean, I think you said you were 186 when you won.
That no, at the Olympia when I won, I was 196. But I
196.
was
Okay.
Yeah, I was very close to win it in 82, and I was 196. And many people felt it could have gone. I could have been there too. So, but anyhow,
Yeah.
I paid my due first, I guess.
You did. Well, here's the thing about, because there's been a lot of talk right now. People are talking about, like old school bodybuilding, new school bodybuilding. And this is how I look at it. And I want to know what your thoughts are. I feel like, you had a huge stamp on the bodybuilding world. And as you continue through, you have remained so passionate about bodybuilding, about posing, about handing off the baton and making sure that things are the way that you left them. Tell me about your thoughts on the way that we're going to just talk about the physiques and we're talking about posing, like how the physiques have evolved. Like you've seen it all. I mean, you've seen since before your time and after your time. Tell me your thoughts on that whole evolution that we've gotten so far.
I tell you what, I'm fanatical. This is the word you need to say. I need to say it truthfully. Yeah. I'm fanatical about doing my things right. And, I studied the bodybuilding from day one. I studied the past in bodybuilding. I kind of looked at John Grimmick, who was one of the greatest to ever do it. John Grimmick. He's unbeaten. He was never beaten. And I mean, he beat Reeves many times. And so I love the game so much, Wendy, that I went and visited people like Oscar Heidenstam in England, who's the founder of NABA. And I wanted to meet all these legends. Like I went and met John Grimmick. I mean, John Grimmick, we're talking a champion from the 50s. I wasn't even born. But I go back and learn from the expert. Life is about trial and error. You need to go to expert. And this is some of the things we will discuss as we talk about it now. So I went back and met people who were like one of the great. I mean, I was fortunate to meet Steve Reeves, Rich Park, Bill Pearl. Those are the greatest. That's the new school probably never heard of their name. Yeah. And they were way before me, Wendy, but I took the sport so seriously. So I learned about the history of bodybuilding, and I studied each and every one. And yes, I studied Arnold and Zane also. Yeah. I studied them all. But the thing is, it's not like I'm not a copycat. But I learned and I look at some of the poses that they're doing, and they show perfect poses from every angle. And I wanted to apply the same thing on my body. Yeah. Most people don't realize that bodybuilding is not, double bicep and lat spread and most muscular. No, it's a performing art. And I don't want to elaborate too much right now on myself. But when I looked at you, Wendy, the first time I looked at your photos and stuff on Instagram, I was like blown away. I said, "Oh my God, she's like Samira." She's like,
Samira.
You did. You know what, Wendy? No bull. I swear, I was very impressed with the way you did it yourself.
Thank
how
you.
You create line, seriously, and I mean, I'm not bullshit. People can look at Wendy's page, guys, and see how every post she makes is like. I'm a fan of the art. So she knew, how to apply the art of bodybuilding. It's a bodybuilding and figure, whatever you want to call that. I mean, it's a performing art. You want to look out there like a Greek goddess, like Greek god, and show it like a ballerina.
I don't normally share my page, but here we are. I'm doing it. I don't normally do this, but you're talking about it.
Wendy, you know what I actually like about you when you like in front of the camera, you do everything perfectly. And I know sometimes things that are gone, there's some things that gone wrong in the sport, honestly.
Yeah.
They kind of impose some of those positioning on some of the athlete, which is, I find it really
Yeah.
unprofessional, you know. And I know how, you see, look at the way you put your feet together, the way your hand, your wrist, you see, things that you do, it remind me of a natural, it's like a cobra, classical. It's like, you know, it's like the move, the thing that you do. I mean, please also show some of your photo shoot, the way you stand in the front there. This is a stage.
Yeah.
You know, when do you and I agree on disagree on some of the thing? I mean, we've been friends for quite some time.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And so, I mean, just a couple of days ago, I saw the photo shoot you were doing. I'm like, oh my God. For me, when I go on Instagram, I go like boom, 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 like move, move. But when I saw the things that you were doing in front of the camera, it impressed me. I was looking at it. In fact, you know, I sent you a couple of messages on that.
Thank you.
You know, it's very impressive. I mean, you cannot ignore someone who is an artist.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's men or women, and I think everything needs to be done with performing arts in mind.
Yes.
We build that body. We build every corner, every angle of our body.
Yes.
And we need to display it with is a magnificent, beautiful way. Not dancing on the stage, not doing like this way for me. You got to go up there on stage and be yourself, be elegant.
Yes.
And people gonna, they're gonna, you know, everybody's going to, you know, clap for you or whatever. I mean, you can't tell the audience, hey, you know, clap for me. You know, it's just like, it doesn't look professional. I never once seen Frank Zane or John Grimmick or Reeves or some of the greatest doing that. We're telling the audience, you know, you know, I get carried away about these things, you know, Wendy, but I love the sport very much. And I'm still like passionate. I still really train and stay in decent shape. And I help people. And sometimes I give like an opinion about certain thing. And I don't mean it in a derogatory way. And some guys right away, they get upset, say, oh, Samir's a hater. I'm not a hater.
Well, no,
I'm not a hater. I mean, look at, you know, I mean, for example, recently I've been seeing like a lot of people talking about, let's say Nick Walker, for example.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, he have no potential. I mean, I wouldn't really say it in a harsh way. I'll say it in a professional way.
Yeah.
Some of the positioning right now, it's completely, I have to say it like that, completely disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. It just doesn't look right, you know, Wendy. And so anyhow, so I was like, I didn't like the fact that Nick Walker getting all the, you know, giving him the bad rap or discouraging him. They think that he's not going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting better and better as he moves forward.
Yeah.
Let's say not each one of us is blessed of a great genetic.
Yeah.
But what Nick is doing, early on, Nick was looking massive, freaky, but he didn't have that quality that he has today. So he is evolving and he's getting better.
Yeah.
Instead of saying bad things about him, I said, you know, let the guy do his things.
Yeah.
For God's sake, I was in last place at the Olympia 1980.
Yeah.
I was in last place. Ken Waller and I were
really?
like 18, 19. Yes, 1980. But I tried too hard. But once I figured out how things should be, you know, we're still in early stages, you know.
Yeah.
Life is about live and learn.
You tried too hard. What does that mean?
I tried too hard where I overdieted. I overtrained. I didn't allow my body to recover properly. And I make mistakes, but you know, the thing is, I'm glad I made those mistakes because I really learned a lot from those mistakes.
Yeah.
It's okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay to quit.
Right.
If you're a true champion, you want something, you go after it. And you know, you always go back to the drawing board and you see what's going on here. What was wrong? What did I do wrong?
Right.
And over the years, you know, that helped me attain one of the best quality in the game. So the condition I came in 83. So I took all the negative stuff that happened in 80 and 81, And boom, 82, I came in. I was the most stripped guy in the show, easily. And everybody. And I said, oh, Samir, what did Samir do? What did Samir do? And honestly, they started blaming it on drugs. You know what? They were all wrong. I kind of mastered the fluid and electrolyte management on my body. And I knew exactly certain things that was necessary.
Yeah.
Like back in the days, they used to tell us, Wendy, cut your sodium too early. And that's the biggest mistake you can make.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in my early stages, I'm talking 1980. Look at that, 45 years ago. You know, live and learn. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a like high sodium person. When I cut my sodium way too low, that actually caused more problem. You know, you know, your body can compensate and make up water somehow by triggering more, elevating your aldosterone level and your cortisol level, and your body start retaining more fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you will learn as you go. And I swear, like I said, it's you know, live and learn. And I was really studying that topic. And I used to go to UCLA library and open up book about fluid and electrolyte management and all these things that I learned, I swear to you, a lot by myself, but then I connected with highly intelligent people. I know our topic is more about posing here, but okay, it's like, yeah, I came in, let's say, here, I was just talking about Nick Walker. Like Nick Walker, he started, I didn't like his physique in the beginning because he was like big and not good. So I compared that to myself, say 1980.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really, I had the body, but I didn't have the quality. I was like 10 karat, under 10 karat gold. So I took it back up to 24K. This is what Nick doing. Nick need to do certain thing yet. So he's in the process and he's young. Like some of his poses could be improved. And this is what you and I need to talk about and sincerely say it in a nice, this constructive way. And guys like Nick, we exchange. Nick and I exchange messages all the time.
Yeah.
And some other top guys, we exchange messages. And, you know, if you understand how to create light and how to show your strengths and hide your weaknesses, when you open your legs like that, you messing up things. Okay. You need to go look at, like, I think you and I talked before. Look at the Roman art, the statues and the Greek statues. You don't see a statue with the legs open like that. The artist making it more like rhyme. The base is very important. So nowadays there are so many things that it's going wrong. Yeah, if you look and look at the base, I mean, nobody opened their legs like what they're doing today. It's like absolutely ridiculous. I could not see one statue with the legs open wide like that. Okay, that's how the legs should be set. And if you keep your legs at that kind of condition and flex from your hip, you create separation in the thigh, and you have a nice and tight waist, nice oblique muscle, and you create a beautiful art. But when you spread your legs wide open, Wendy, it doesn't look right. And I've been telling several guys, you know, lately I've been talking with Regan Grime. And I said, Regan, if you adjust your posing a little bit, because he have the body, Regan have the body to go all the way.
Yeah.
He does. And if I pose, let's say, like Regan or Nick Walker back in his early stages, I probably wouldn't have won the Olympia. I'll be honest with you. But I displayed what I have properly, and I make it rhyme and move from one pose to another. But we need to talk. You see, I mean, like Regan always keep his legs wide open. And I think that actually, that picture is not bad. I've seen him in other photo, but look at his body, you know. His
Amazing body
is pretty complete, beautiful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think that he's going to make it, but I think he can go all the way. I really
like his physique.
Look, intelligent people do the right thing. Listen, I remember Frank Zane one time told me, this is really funny. I'm going from Regan to Zane. Frank Zane once told me, he said, Samir, you know, I offered to help Dexter Jackson in his posing.
Yeah.
And Dexter didn't capitalize on it. And you know what? Dexter's a great champion, of course, but we are never good enough.
Yeah.
We can always improve. And, like, I think posing is important. It's like, you look at Frank Zane. You never see Frank Zane with his legs wide open. Look at that.
Right.
He
Yeah.
makes it rhyme. He understands from his toe to his, look at everything
It
about
looks like the
Zane
Roman
is
statues you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, just show me one picture with Frank Zane have his legs wide open like what these guys doing today.
Yeah.
So, you want to learn posing, and man, you want to go to learn from guys, copy Frank Zane. I know you're going to say, oh, Frank Zane is not 290. Who cares if he's 290 or he's 190?
Yeah.
He's beautiful. The line is symmetric. I know if he want to compete today with a big guy, he'll disappear on the stage with size. But you put him on the stage by himself, and he still looks the most beautiful, the most elegant.
Yeah.
In the physique contest, he'll probably easily beat everyone. I mean, come on. I'm not going to knock down any of the new athletes, but you got to learn from guys like Zane. I was honored to learn. See, some of the stuff I do is evolve, is by,
Yeah.
Zane has a lot to do with how I managed to do these things on my own body. Arnold, for example. Oh, wow, look at, I'm skinny here. I don't know who did this stupid photo, but
Why? Did someone change it?
I don't know who did this, but it's somebody did it. And look at this.
Is it
it's
not
Photoshop.
Oh,
I look like 500 pounds here.
Oh God. Okay. I'm glad you told me, because
Yeah,
that stuff pops up when you do a Google search.
No, oh man, I hate that. It's disgusting.
I'm glad that you said that. Not many people would say that.
Come on, no, yeah, I don't accept anything bullshit on my own photo either. So no,
Good.
but I just like what can I tell you? Let's talk about the detail about posing here. Some informative information.
I have a quick question for you. Okay. Before we totally dive in, I want to ask you this, because this is really important to know. Now, obviously posing has changed, and you pointed out some of the different things that have changed, but do you think that as bodies have evolved and the goals are now to be as big as possible, as shredded as possible, the posing almost seems to be reflecting the standards that are being rewarded, right? So like, for example, the way that guys are putting their legs, it's almost like to make their quads look bigger, to make their big legs look bigger. It's like the goals are shifting a little bit. It was a lot more artistic when you were competing, and it's a lot more about, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm just going to stop.
Look, I disagree with that. You can be big, you can build a great body. Like, for example, let me answer you this the right way.
Okay.
Look at Samson, for example. Samson is huge. He's what? Right now, probably over 300, but he gets on stage like what? Somewhere around 290 or 285 or 295. But the thing is, the quality did change a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like, for example, I like Samson's body, beautiful body, but I sincerely mean it. I mean, look, keep that photo, we'll elaborate on that photo. But like, for example, when Samson make a minor adjustment to his quality, okay, if Samson gets super shredded, Lord have mercy. He is going to be very hard to deal with. He's already Mr. Olympia anyway, as is. Just imagine he take his body from 18 karat gold to 21 or to 24. When you have that saran wrap onion skin, he'll be untouchable. I disagree with the way Derek posing here. I don't like it. In fact, I told Chris Aceto, who's a very good friend of mine, and I love Chris. I told to his face, I said, if you agree with that kind of posing, I'm disappointed. It was not the posing, with that position.
What do you think his purpose is? Because I'm sure that there's a reason why he's doing that with his body.
No, these guys learned from a poor coaches, and how it started back in the days. I mean, like, for example, if you see a bodybuilder that won competition because they won because they're shredded, and you and I discussed it before, and the average Joe outside, then they follow that champion that won. He won because of his conditioning, but not because of his stage performance.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very important and very imperative to really apply the art of bodybuilding. And you know what? Talking about Samson probably is the best poser on the Mr. Olympia stage right now.
He won the best poser, yeah.
In my opinion, yeah, he's definitely one of the best poser. But look, his physique is still like massive, but not bad to look at. Beautiful to look at. I would suggest that he will get even a little bit sharper, get that his skin a little finer. And I think him and his wife doing a good job. He's improving every year.
Yeah.
Good enough that he connected with his lovely wife. And look at that. You see, he knows how to create line. Look at his angle, the way he show his, okay. Like for here, he need to flex his rear delts in that pose.
Yeah.
Look at that. See, he's a pretty good poser without a doubt. And I would improve his quality a tad bit. Another couple percent sharpness. Oh my God. And look at shoulders to waist ratio. Wendy is amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And no, he's very, very good. And I see him be like a front runner again. The thing is, you don't create edges. He doesn't create edges with his body. Like when you go like this with the arm like that, you need to keep it aerodynamic and pretty, And I'm sure you will understand what I'm talking. You will completely understand. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a pose in a transition. I love that.
His transition is good. He posed very good, and I think that's the reason why he actually the combo that he created with his body and presentation gave him the title. Look, I've always thought Derek has incredible body, and I know he does, but Derek needs to learn posing yet, because with all due respect to my buddy Chris Aceto, I don't think can do this job perfectly. I'd rather see Derek go work with Frank Zane on that. I'd rather see Derek work with a guy like Labrada on that. I'm not just talking about me, but I'm not here to promote myself as a posing coach. But the truth must be told.
Yeah.
Some of the guys, they actually damage things. I mean, it's like they make things worse for themselves, okay? Now watch. Look at the way he's walking. That's not necessary. Okay. Let's talk about that right here. That pose is 100% wrong, because look what happened to the arm. You lose your triceps completely. You lose your roundness. You have a great lat. You don't need to open your arm. Your shoulders are gone too, and the head of the triceps is gone by lifting your arm too high, right? Yeah. Wonderful condition. Look at his waist is small. I mean, he's complete.
He is.
Believe me, if he posed the right way, he'll be like double. It's like putting the icing on the cake. That's how good. And I've been saying that for years. He knows that I'm in favor of his look, but not with his posing. Sorry, but
I was thinking when I was watching this, I was thinking his lats are so big and there's so much surface from the front that I almost wonder if as he put on the muscle, it's almost like posing the muscle, maybe he's trying to figure out how to navigate all this muscle on his frame. I mean, there's literally, those lats are literally flaring out. I mean, at least 5-6 inches.
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
In all honesty here, look, he's have a fantastic back, great lat. Why do you need to have more lat than that? Why do you think Tom Platz having problem winning the Olympia? If Tom Platz have a little bit smarter legs, he probably would have won the Olympia. Sometimes developing certain area way too much, it works against you, not for you.
It's
interesting. But Derek, I mean, Derek he has it all, but I think those kind of poses actually make him look not as good. Now that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But the legs position is wrong. The leg position is definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Way too wide. If he kept pressure, if he stood on the right legs and take that left legs and do what Frank Zane was doing, oh my God, it'd be like scary.
Oh, that'd
It'd
be
be
so
like
awesome.
beautiful and massive, you know?
Yeah.
And I sincerely mean it. I'm friends with Derek. I really love the guy. He's a wonderful person, great human being. It's just that we all live and learn. I mean, you know, he hasn't been in this game as long as I have. And I'm saying it in a kind way, in a constructive way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's like but Samir, you're a legend. I mean, you giving feedback to the new generation is a gift, you know? So you giving feedback, seriously, like if you have told me actually, Wendy, what are you doing? This pose is terrible. I mean, you've told me that and I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Like, tell me what is terrible about it, because you know what you're talking about. So if you give me feedback and advice, I'm going to listen. And I think everyone feels that way about you. You know what I mean?
You know what the thing is about you learn from your mistake and you accept constructive criticism. I mean, you know me, I'm a fan of your body. I'm a fan of your look. I'm a fan of every move you make. I know how good you are. I know. I'm not just saying in your face, you know, I've always said that.
Yeah.
Because look at your overall balance, Wendy. You have a pretty line. You put together right. And when you pose, you make it right. Even if you pose non-bodybuilding stuff, you do things that looks really pretty. A man would look at that and say, wow, she is beautiful. She's sexy. She's etc. athletic and all that. I mean, you have that look. These guys have to learn how to rhyme and how to stand properly. With all due respect, the majority doesn't do it right, Wendy. And really, I'm friends with all of them. I really wish the best anyone that the best man win, and I'm happy to see any of them win. But I'm saying things in a constructive way. That's it, no more or less.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like and also flexing the muscle when you pose. Like for a lot of people will do this, let's say this pose like that, and they kind of don't flex their rear delts. You need to flex the muscle simultaneously and make it rhyme.
Yeah.
You need to make it rhyme to look good. It's like you're flying an airplane. I keep giving that example. You know how to take off and land.
Yeah.
You don't want to crash. Okay, it's pretty common. I mean, let me tell you, we have a smart, we have accurate poser, we have, I don't say, okay poser. Like, for example, let me just say something about even the great Arnold.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Arnold doing one bad pose. You know why? Because he will not show himself in a pose that doesn't work for him. How many times do you see Arnold doing side tricep pose?
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. You know why? Even though it looks good, but for him, if it's not perfect, he won't do it.
Yeah.
The same thing with Frank Zane. How many times you see Frank Zane hit the most muscular? He won't do it. Why? It doesn't look good on him. How many times you see Makawe doing a double bicep from the back? He won't do it. Why? Because he knows that's a weakness and it's going to expose his weakness. So he shouldn't do it. Look at that. Look at Arnold.
Yeah.
Look at that. See? Look at that.
Beautiful.
Now, don't tell me this is not very good. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at his lat. He doesn't need to do crap with his anyway. I don't want to be so. I don't want it to become like, oh, Samir's a hater. I'm not a hater.
No, I know you have to
everyone.
I know you have to worry about that. Don't worry. I don't think that you're being a hater. I think that you're being, well, here's the thing. Okay. And I think this is a responsibility that you have when you leave such a big imprint on any industry or on any area, right? You're passing the baton on to the next generation. So you want to leave it the way that you left it. And that's kind of like almost a responsibility. So for you to do that, you have to be the one to speak up and make sure that things stay calibrated. And that's what you're doing. It's not being a hater. It's just you're
Yeah, but
making sure it's calibration.
I hear you, but some of the kids always blah blah blah. You know, you have kids on Instagram right away. They take it the negative way. Oh, he is. Oh, Derek is my hero, and Samir is like saying crap. It's not like I'm saying crap about Derek, and Derek probably wouldn't get upset with me.
No,
he won't. I even, like I told you, I'm friend with Chris Acedo, and I said I just completely disagree with you if you like that position.
are you kidding?
You know what
Derek's
he
a
said? Didn't say
champion.
anything.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, Derek is a champion. Derek wants to win. He's
right.
he's always open to constructive criticism, and that's exactly why
Yes.
he's at the level that he's at. If you talk to the best of the best, those are the ones that have the hardest shell, at least they should, and are the most open to constructive criticism from people like you, because they're here to win.
Yes,
They're not
yes.
here to try to be sensitive and fragile. You know, that doesn't get you the title.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I mean, Lee Haney recently was talking about saying that we need a reset in bodybuilding. I mean, there's other things that is not going good, but here we're talking about, you know, precisely talking just by posing. And really by applying, look, posing can make you or break you. If you show what you have in an elegant, masterful way, you know what? Perfect. But if you go up there and doing everything, you hit a level bicep when you have not good enough arm to do bicep, so you limit those kind of poses when you have weak in certain area. Okay, so you show your strengths and hide your weaknesses. I'm just saying that Arnold. I never see Arnold doing lat spread from the back. He doesn't do back lat spread as much. He doesn't do side tricep because I studied Arnold since day one, and you know Arnold is my hero. I followed Arnold's footsteps from day one, even from the beginning when I started, and Frank Zane too. And I think I'm very fortunate that I came in to California in the nick of time. And in the best era, I landed in Southern California late 78. And I got to meet everyone from Joe Gold, Zay Bukozowski, Ed Giuliani. I hang out, work with Joe Weider. I used to go out, and Joe Weider would look at my posing routine and like gave me advice and said, you know, Samir, you learn so fast. You and Robbie Robinson, this is how Joe does. And Joe was always helpful. Joe created this unbelievable, I mean, if it wasn't a Joe, we wouldn't know who's Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest. Yeah. We wouldn't know who's Arnold Schwarzenegger. We wouldn't know who's Franco Colombo. I mean, Joe Weider really contributed in a huge way, Wendy. So anyway, it seems like I lost you for a bit. I'll wait until you come back. Yeah, we're talking about posing here, you know, and really Wendy cares about the sport. And so let's see what happens. Something went wrong, technical issue. So waiting for Wendy. I just got a message. She's coming back on something technical.
Here.
Yeah. What happened? We lost you. Yes, yeah, I'm here. I just said you had some technical issue. Yes, I'm on. You can see me?
This is what live television is all about. We have a little hiccup. Hang on, don't go anywhere.
You want me to start over? You can't see me? I guess you can't hear me. Let me send her a message here.
Samir, are you there?
Okay, I was just sending you a message. Something
Oh,
happened. It's on your side, not on my side.
yes, it was on my side. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. Anyway,
No, it's okay.
all right.
That's okay.
So continue. We are here's my question. Okay. Now, something that I notice about, your posing and like the things that you're talking about is what exactly was your overall purpose in everything that you were creating? Because this is what I wanted to talk to you about.
I'm sorry, just repeat that. What was
Here's
the overall?
I'm going to start with this. Whenever I think about posing, I think about not just like, oh, hitting the pose right or trying to get my arm right or trying to get my shoulder in the right place. When I'm thinking about posing, I'm thinking about what is your purpose? What are you trying to create? For me, it's like every angle is all about creating the most beautiful, perfect X frame hourglass shape that I possibly can, whether it's the front, the back, the side. And so sometimes like shoulders and arms and hands can distract from that being your goal. So if that's your goal, if that's at the top, this is your goal, then you work your way down. And if arms are hanging out, for example, from the side, they're going to take away from the shoulders being wide. So like for me, I think about that being the purpose. Is that something that you took into account when you were trying to create your posing and working on that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I studied all the champion from the past and saw some of their posing, but I looked at my own body and see if it applies okay for me. So if it was good for me and it rhymed and it showed complete body from head to toe, then it's definitely included in my menu, So there are poses that I couldn't do. For example, when Frank Zane does the vacuum pose, and it looks great on him, I won't do it because I couldn't do it properly. So I don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Even though I have enough rib cage, I can do it doing a double bicep with the rib cage. I could do a side chest with my rib cage, something. But there are posing I won't do, but very few poses. I was fortunate because I always work on a complete body. Like I could do things from the side, from the front, and from the back. The most important thing for me is to make it rhyme. If it's not complete, I won't do it.
Yeah.
And this is some of the thing, what I'm saying, some of the thing that some of those guys make mistake with. Like, for example, we're talking about Quizzo, who's a Russian champion, who's got incredible muscle, huge, in high, super quality. And, Quizzo, when he get on stage, he's like, he messed up a little bit because he have a long torso and he does poses. You see his torso is long and he does poses that actually expose him to look weaker. But look at his body. The guy's amazing. I mean, he was making a mistake with the tanning. Look at his face should be tanning like his body somewhat. But we're talking about the pose. He needs a masterful coaching where he would limit some of the poses where he would actually show his torso way too long, and that's hard to deal with. So he need to be with someone that actually limits some poses that will make him look bad. I mean, he can look bad, but I'm just saying you got to look perfect in every pose. I like his muscularity, his quality is incredible. I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna be in Hungary in about 6 weeks, and we have a plan to get together and do some posing together.
Nice.
He's great.
Nice.
He's great. He's massive. I mean, when you look at Quizzo on Instagram training, oh my God.
Yeah.
The guy quality is unbelievable quality, but that's not enough. When you're on stage, you gotta do things right.
Yeah.
Now, on the contrary, you look at a guy like Lila Brada.
Yeah.
Like Lila Brada is not a gym body.
Yeah.
He's not a gym body, but even me, I'm not that much of a gym body either. But when we get on stage and the shirt come off, and you see all the muscle and the balance and the way we approach it, the way we do things. You see, like Lee, he works very hard on posing. Very hard.
I love that. foot stance. I do.
Yeah, and you see, look at his legs, for example. Okay, he create line. He's not massive, but pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, but he got bigger later. After that, he got much bigger. But you see what he does?
Yeah.
I mean, his son Hunter, he doesn't do any of the above. I mean, for all I know, if Hunter would follow the same kind of formula as his dad, he'll do better.
Yeah.
That's why we go back. Bigger is not necessarily better. You know, I'm serious. I mean, Labrada came close to winning Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
And
he
was
did.
not the most massive. Yeah, I mean, Lee and I, you know, and early on, we actually checked his posing, and he worked with Frank Zane. He's smart enough to understand that if I work with Zane, I'm going to be that much better. And guess what? He was always in the runner-up, but it's very unfortunate for him. He came in a time when Lee Haney is super massive, and
Yeah.
Lee Haney has shoulder to wide, small waist ratio. I mean, shoulder to waist ratio, and it was massive. So like Labrada, Sean Ray, and all these guys got stuck with Lee Haney. I was very fortunate in 1983. Lee Haney was on stage, and I took one from Lee. And then we don't talk about what happened in 84 and 85. But talking about Lee Haney, you know, Lee Haney, look at small waist. And, you know, honestly, if Lee Labrada was, let's say, if Lee Labrada was 5'9" and another 15 pound, for some reason, I even felt, seriously, Labrada was good enough to win it in Rimini, because that's the only time Lee Haney didn't show up at his best in Rimini. And it could have gone either way. But look at Lee Haney. Lee Haney's like, he came and took over. And I didn't compete in all of the show. I really felt I'm the only medicine for Lee Haney. He knows that. I was his medicine. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Lee is a huge, he's a big guy. I mean, even Dorian stood next to Haney, I think in one of the show, one of the Olympia, and I swear, even Dorian disappeared. Shoulder to waist ratio. Lee Haney is amazing.
Wow.
And then earlier I was talking about Lee Haney. We needed to do a reset. Some of the kids objected and they got mad. I'm like, you know, and some of the things we need to reset. And I'm not saying everybody's doing it wrong.
Right.
But the majority are learning from the wrong people, and including imposing. You know, you have a coach who is a smart operator will convince you, oh, I can help you. And now you see some girl. I mean, if a girl called me and she said, who do you recommend? I swear, go to Wendy. I would say it right away. Why? No, I'm not just saying it because because you understand how to create line and how to keep it pretty. You don't do the awkward thing. Now you have a girl doing this from the side.
I know.
Why girls want to do this from the side? Even men from the side. You need to show tricep, small waist. Now they go like that, and they kill the tricep.
Yeah.
This is a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think the judges should really do something about it.
Well, here's what's going on. So like if you're facing this wall, your widest point is your shoulders. So the way I look at it is, if this is your widest point, if you keep your widest point facing that wall and you just stick your arms out, you're not actually taking your V towards the judges. Whereas if you twist your whole upper body but keep your arms in tight, now you're not competing with like the width of your shoulders, right? So it's so for me, it's like the shoulders are wide, and then the arms should flow so that you're still looking at the widest point on top. But instead, the girls they're not turning their shoulders towards the judges. They're keeping them straight and just sticking the arms out. I don't get it. I don't know where we got that.
Well, thank you. I know. And this is really bugs me too, Wendy. You don't know how much it bugs me. Like, for example, in men, we train our butt off to get our triceps looking good. So when you stand from the side, what are you doing with this? What the hell are you doing? Who told you this is how you should stand up? You show your triceps and you keep your waist small. You can show your rib, your intercostal and your waist and stuff, and you look beautiful.
Yeah.
when you go like that, I mean, who the hell? Did you learn posing from a blacksmith or
Yeah.
from a carpenter or from someone? Who taught you how to pose like that? And this is why I'm talking to
Yeah.
Steve Weinberger. You know,
Yeah.
Steve and I go back a long way, and Steve really cares. You know, I mean, we need to talk and maybe have a meeting with Jimmy and Tyler and Steve. We need to modify and we need to cut down on the monkey business. Some of those posing is actually embarrassing to the sport of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know how some people like mock bodybuilder and say, bodybuilder, we walk like this. Yeah, you remember they laugh about it like that.
On Saturday night.
Why? When it's the truth, it's truth, and you know, for me, it bothered me because I'm 100% against it.
I know.
It bothered me so much you can't imagine.
Yeah.
But the new kids on the block, they don't know. They think this is the norm, and you know, I'll go with it.
I'm glad that it bothers you though, because your part of your legacy is part of the calibration. And if we don't have you, you know, helping to keep things going the right direction, you've helped me out. I mean, I've gone in the kind of a weird direction, you know, trying to, I don't know, I guess you see what's getting rewarded and you're trying to, you know, correct your posing. You're trying to make sure that you're doing what's getting rewarded. And then we need to have those recalibration moments where we go, okay, well, what's the purpose of this? What are we even trying to do? You know?
Wendy, we need to do some workshop together.
Oh, we will.
Really, some people, because honestly, I see many coaches. I know some of those coaches want to make a living, but come on, if you want to do coaching, you better be capable. You want to teach people what's right. You telling people what you learn the wrong things and you applying the wrong things on beautiful body and you ruin it.
Yeah.
I know people in Kuwait, in the Arab world, and like they said, like from the back like this, what are you doing? What are you doing? Who told you to do that? This is a no. This is horrible. And I have to say, it's ugly. It's ugly. No, Wendy, it's ugly. When you stand and expose yourself, you know, everybody's making fun of it and say it's a Harley pose.
Yeah.
Besides the Harley pose, there's other poses that looks bad, whether it's from the side or from the front or from the back.
Yeah.
And also some of those move where people will want to do they want to do a side chest pose and they grab their butt and they go like that and they go like that. For God's sake, don't overdo that. It kills some of your professional art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they grab the butt and I show you, look at this. Look at my separation. The judges are looking at you. You don't need to keep showing and rubbing your butt, showing your butt and hunched down, trying to do a side pose where you're like sitting on the toilet seat, basically, when you do a side chest. That's wrong. It's not pretty. You got to look like an eagle, not like a hen. You are an eagle up there.
I agree with you. Actually, so this is so Sean Roden, you were doing posing with him, and I found this, and I just want to show it really quick because I actually think that this is really, really cool. The way that you taught him, the way that you were showing him how to flow. I just thought this was so awesome just to watch you in action, teaching the art of flowing, not just hitting the pose, but this is so cool.
You know, Sean Roden, rest in peace. He was smart. He knew what he needed to do. And that's why he became Mr. Olympia. I mean, here's the good thing. Chris Aceto helped him in nutrition. And he trained with Chris also. Chris as trainer. And I felt if I contribute in posing, that will have all the pieces of the puzzle put together. And yes, he showed up. And to be honest with you, Phil Heath was in good shape, but he Phil have an issue with his stomach where I think he had a hernia or whatever. He did a surgery. So he had a little difficult time flexing his lower abdominal. And, you know, Sean Roden came in shredded and he did a good job and he won. And so, you know, I tell you, I feel so bad because Sean Roden won really good people. Look at that. See, like I'm telling him how to create line. I don't like the hand like this. You got to have your hand is going to be like an eagle. When the eagle grab, I keep saying this again and again.
Yeah.
It's like when the eagle grabbing a fish from the river, he goes like that and grab. He don't grab it like this. He can't grab a fish like this. Well, you know, unless you're, I'll say unless you are an eagle with an arthritis. so you know what I'm saying? Look at his hand here. I'm talking to him about hand and how to create line between his upper delts and lower delts, how to flex both delts and create one line. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And really, he's pretty good. Man, that's such a big loss for us losing Sean Roden.
I know.
It really I felt so bummed out. You can't imagine how sad I got. A good person, good sport, champion in every way. It's really sad. They orchestrated all this bull nonsense against him. But anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
you see, trying to work with create line, you see. Look at his legs. His legs were never wide open. Look.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it really does help for the. So I talked to like Chris Cormier a lot too. Chris Cormier is also an artist when it comes to posing. It's not about the fancy stuff, but it's about nailing and perfecting each pose and creating lines and making sure that there's flow that makes sense from one pose to the next. Not fancy for no reason, but the flow that makes you not even realize you're actually in a new pose. It's almost like it's so natural that you're in awe of it. And that, I think you and him are two of the best.
I tell you what, Chris, when I was training at Gold back in the day at my best, he was training. It was in early stages. And then I looked, I said, wow, this guy, got a beautiful body. And he was a hard worker. And he was around the right people and he performed the right way. Just like me, I was around the right people. Yeah. I made sure. I used to go to Frank Zane's house. And even got a posing trunk from Frank Zane. That's before I won the world championship. Okay. And so, look at that. Now we're talking about back to Chris Cormier. Chris got a really nice body and he kind of showed it. Yeah, he moved pretty smooth. And look at the side chest. He lifted up. He didn't do it like hunched down like a funky chicken. He did a good job. It was a great time. I remember, Chris, Flex Wheeler, they used to come to Gold Gym. And I was on top of the chart and they were like climbing it up. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just sad to see like guys like him, Chris Cormier and Flex Wheeler both could have been Mr. Olympia, really. They both could have.
Yeah.
Also, they're a little bit unfortunate. They came in time when Ron Coleman was on top of the chart. It was like freak out of this world, massive. So they didn't have it as complicated. I was also, I don't want to say I was lucky, but when I won the Olympia, there was so many top-notch Mr. Olympia too. We have Frank Zane, 3-time Mr. Olympia. Mm-hmm. We have Lee Haney. We have Berto Fox from the UK. Berto was one of the biggest freak you could imagine. He was in shape. Mm-hmm. Joseph Pulkos, etc. But, talking about Cormier, Chris Cormier looked really good and he did things right. He could have gone farther again. Yeah. Don't know what went on that he didn't compete in the long, for, do the Olympia. I mean, it took me 3 Olympia to win the Olympia. I mean, first one, I almost came in last. Second Olympia, I broke into the top 10.
Yeah.
The third Olympia, I could have won in 82. I came in shredded at 186. Yeah. But when I left the stage, I said, I'll be back next year. And I came the next year, I prepared beyond your imagination perfectly. And I got it done. Guys like, for example, Chris, Flex Wheeler, Labrada, Sean Ray, these guys, like Sean, have what it takes. And I'll be honest with you, among all these guys, I think Sean could have won Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
And probably should have won. Not could have, should have. And we were dealing with some nasty guys, some nasty official. And I know for sure, I don't want to even talk negative about other people, but I think Sean Ray was outspoken. Look at his eyes.
I know. I was like, I don't know why I paused on that.
Sean is a good poser, by the way. And I saw him a couple of times. You see how he posed? See how he moved? Now that's posing. I don't see anybody doing that right now. I don't see Quizzo. I don't see anybody pose like Sean.
Yeah. Keon Pearson is pretty good. He does a lot of that stuff. Keon.
Yeah. I mean, when Sean was on, he was really good. But then he played the size game, and that worked a little bit more against him. Sean is better at 204, 205. But once he started going up to 215 and 218, I think he didn't look as good, in my opinion. So that's how Sean looks good. I don't think he weighed more than 207, 205 right here. Yeah. And really, I mean, I no disrespect to guys like Dorian. I mean, he's Mr. Olympia 6 times, for God's sake. Yeah. But listen, I saw some photo with Sean standing next to Dorian. And you know what? One show, I felt Sean would have taken it. I felt Sean would have taken the Olympia. They gave him second place. Yeah. I know who's behind why Sean stayed not winning the Olympia. You know, I mean, if you look at Sean's arm, when you compare him to to Dorian Yates. Yeah. Okay. See, here's the biceps, and I think Sean Ray's arm will outdo Dorian here. Yeah. What does Dorian right here have over Sean right here? I mean, massive, yes. Hard, yes. Sean Ray, massive enough. He was more than hard enough, and he's pretty complete. So some people say it was a toss-up, Dorian and Sean. At one time, I really felt Sean Ray would have taken Olympia. No bullshit. And you know me, I don't kiss ass. You know, Sean Ray could hear it from me. He knows. I'm like, I told him I think he was uncrowned. And, you know, the thing is with Dorian was a warrior. He never came to a show unprepared. He was always 100% prepared. But the time when he tore his biceps, that actually set him back a little bit. You know, I don't know if there's a video of Sean and Dorian next to each other.
Here we go.
I'm telling you, I mean, Dorian is bigger, taller, but Sean is just as bad in, you know, anyhow.
I wish there were more face on. It's just the fancy angles, but we get the picture.
Yeah, Sean can present his body better for sure. That is 100% sure about that.
Yeah, but don't you think that like right around this era when Dorian Yates came on the scene, this was kind of like when the judges started seeing all that mass for the first time, and once that started getting rewarded, it was kind of like that's the direction all of a sudden. You know, that was where the baton got handed off, and so now it's what? Yeah, go for it.
I mean, Dorian did start to bring in the mass, and he became a mass monster. Whatever he did to increase that quality muscle size, I can sincerely tell you, Joe Gold didn't like that at all. Ed Giuliani and Zabel, when I come to Gold Gym, said, "Oh, what? You know, it's big, but I mean, where's the beauty? Where's the beauty?" That's how Joe Gold was saying. But like, I guess not all the judges see things the same. But I would definitely like to see beautiful body with that kind of quality that Dorian brings to the stage. I mean, Dorian is a quality bodybuilder, but he actually you know, dominated with more mass at some point, and he brought it into the stage with quad. Look at that, Sean right here. Sean right here. Look at this waist. Look at the waist right here. Okay. Dorian is bigger, but look at the middle of Sean Ray here, and people don't take that into consideration. You should. Yeah, we can turn around and Dorian have a great back, but Sean did have a good back.
Yeah.
I mean, chest and arm, chest to chest. I think I would take I would take Sean in the chest department and the arms department. Okay. Dorian is gnarly, muscular, freaky, and I don't know. Maybe you're right about some of the judges that actually think bigger is better.
Yeah.
I think Sean pushed. He pushed Dorian to the limit right here. And I don't know. To me, I saw a couple of shots. I don't know if there's more photo comparison.
Let's see.
But I saw a couple of photos where I thought Sean was like, okay, now Sean came in second here, right?
Yes.
All right. So if he came in second, I mean, he pushed Dorian to the limit. He pushed him to the max here. I felt like Sean could have taken one from Dorian. Yes, he could have.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an apple and oranges, depend on the judges here, Anyway.
Yeah. I have a question for you. When you were competing in, the 80s, did you think in your mind that we would get to a point where physiques as muscular as they are today, that this was an inevitable part of the journey of bodybuilding? I mean, technically bodybuilding that division is about like the biggest, hardest, freakiest guys. And that's kind of what it's become. Did you predict this? Like what were you thinking it was going to get to?
The problem in here was, okay, let me explain something to you. And I know how this has come about, why these guys became massive. And I'm going to tell you, a doctor by the name Lodek Nozick.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the Czech Republic. Dr. Nozick is one of the guys that actually brought insulin to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He's from the same country as Milos. So Milos Salsavi believed that insulin should be in there. But again, as far as I'm concerned, and I was around very intelligent people, very highly intelligent, and understand endocrinology to the T. And they told me the consequences, Samir, insulin, A, B, C. They only said negative thing about insulin. You know what? Yes, it's negative because once you start using insulin and your body gets super massive and your internal organ and your rib cage expand and you ruin your middle, you're not going to be pretty. And you know what? Your health issue is going to start happening. You're going to deteriorate and you're going to look worse and worse and your career going to be cutting short. Now, is it prettier with insulin? No. When you start blending, for example, now this is a different topic. When you blend insulin and GH, excessive amount of insulin, which is, I know some guys now, including Milos, he believed that putting on bulk with insulin, no disrespect, Milos and I talk, we're friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we disagree on something.
Yeah.
I don't find it necessary to take insulin on every meal while you're bulking. Why?
Okay.
Why? And then the health issue here become 100% relevant. It's like when you take insulin and if you use insulin for 5 or 6 times a day to accommodate the carbohydrate, like I start calling it the Nutella diet. With insulin, you got to eat lots and lots of sugar. Otherwise,
the Nutella diet.
You could die if you don't eat simple sugar with insulin. I mean, look, Wendy, I'm not trying to make that.
No, this is dangerous. This is dangerous stuff.
Dangerous. Look. We have Dallas McCarver.
Yeah.
Dallas, you know who's Dallas McCarver? Dallas was 26 years old, maybe less. I think around 26.
Yeah.
He passed away. And the kids out there say, oh, Dallas choked on a piece of bread. Dallas didn't choke on a piece of bread. Dallas was fantastic. He could have won Mr. Olympia easily if he just been patient and took your time and do it right. So instead, rushing, I want to get big. I want to get to 300 pounds. I was talking with, Hani Ramboard not long ago. I was in Dallas and I went and visited Hani look at. So anyway, Hani felt, Dallas was eager to get big too fast. And when Hani was helping him, it's a big mistake that he didn't think it was Hani. He would have won Mr. Olympia and still be alive today. If you went to Hani Rambo, you need to be with someone that been there, someone intelligent, someone that plays safe.
Yeah.
The idea of taking insulin on regular basis, I don't care if you're going to look good at the show, but what you're going to do to your body. I mean, you just imagine the yeast overgrowth, the candida, the visceral fat that develop in your stomach. I mean, all health problems start, all the ailments start in the abdomen, in the stomach.
Yeah.
When you start feeding your body simple sugar at a regular basis, 6 times a day. I know we know that would work, but what about the health? Are you paying attention to the health right there? No, they're not. They want to win at all costs, but the sad part is the guy come in and win one contest or two contests, and then career is over.
Yeah.
Why not somebody who's also could have taken one Olympia, even from Dorian back in? I was at Queen Mary here in Long Beach at the Olympia, and I was on the first seat, sitting right behind the judges.
Yeah.
I was sitting almost the first row, and honestly, I felt Nasser somebody would have taken Dorian. Why? Dorian have an arm issue, and Nasser was at his best ever. The only reason they'll tell you Dorian won because Dorian back was ahead. But Nasser didn't have a great back, but the overall package that he brought in, he could have won the Mr. Olympia. Yeah. Nasser is no longer with us. Nasser should have been alive today. He should have been alive and been a Mr. Olympia. The idea of pushing Nasser al-Somebody to the limit, where at time Nasser al-Somebody was taking 10 Anadrol a day. 10 Anadrol a day.
Thanks.
Even Godzilla will die if he take 10 Anadrol a day for 6 weeks. He will die. Now, according to Milos says, I don't know. I didn't know that Nasser was doing that. And then all of a sudden he discovered it and he said, he found out about it later. But probably already too late. And I think look at the midsection here between Nasser and Dorian.
Yeah.
Look at the arms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, look. I mean, Dorian is massive, whatever, but look at Nasser. He flow, the lat, the abdominal, how tight, the separation, the size, the flow. I give this right here to Nasser.
Yeah.
I wasn't close friend with Nasser. I was high by. I'm friend with Dorian. I mean, I think Dorian is unbelievable, but in that one particular show, I thought Nasser would have won the Olympia.
Yeah.
Even if he won it by a hair, he should have probably taken it. I mean, look, the one reason why he should have, look at the arms. Mm-hmm. If you look at the bicep, look at the entire arms, Nasser took that. If you look at the midsection, Nasser take that. If you look at the quality, I don't see Dorian looking harder here than Nasser.
Yeah.
So a lot of things went wrong, but I mean, it's really saddened me and it hurts so much that Nasser will die at under 50. He was like, 48 years old.
Yeah, that's so young. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but Wendy, I'm not trying to say, that being negative in it, but we need to tell people to be careful.
Yeah, no, I
want to win and live.
I agree. Well, I'm like I said before, I think that there's a little bit of a misunderstanding because you're passing on your knowledge and you feel a responsibility to do that, and I can appreciate that. You're honest, and any champion knows that if you want to win, you have to listen to the people that paved the way, and that's how you improve and that's how you get better. So if you want to win, you got to be able to take constructive criticism, right?
You know, like we said, live and learn. Really, I sincerely always, my intention is to help. And really,
I know.
like I said, okay, I'm friend with Derek. I've always felt Derek would win, and he won Olympia.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with Samson at time, and I'm in contact with what's his name, Regan Grime.
Regan Grimes.
Sometimes exchange messages with Nick Walker. The thing is, I wish all of them the very best.
Yeah.
But again, when you say something in a constructive criticism in a nice way, it should be taken as a constructive criticism, not, you know, some of the kids out there. They went crazy over Lee Haney saying, oh, we need to reset. Yeah, we need to reset.
You said, Wendy, what are you doing with those monkey arms? And I was like,
look, listen.
And I was like, I fixed it.
I know one thing about you. I know you're a natural. You never touch anything, which is wonderful. And that's why you deserve double the respect. Because I know you're natural. I know you're the wrestler since day one. But right now, and I'm not a hypocrite. In my days, when I competed at Olympia, I used certain things, but I never abused.
Yeah.
Wendy, let me just be honest with you. There was a medication called parabolin.
Oh God.
Let me say it and tell you where are the craziness, the mistakes.
Okay.
Parabolin was 76.5 milligram, which is the chemical, the main ingredient would be trambolone, phenyl, whatever. It's like now they have trambolone acetate, trambolone propionate, trambolone, whatever. But really, the recommended dose of trambolone, Wendy, is like no more than taking 2 cc, which would be equivalent to 150 milligram a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have some pencil neck using 600 milligram of trambolone. Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? Some of the guys, Wendy, they're taking thousands of milligrams of testosterone.
Yeah. Oh God.
And you know what? Even Godzilla would do great on 500 milligrams. These guys want to take over 1,000 or 2,000. To me,
I think
it's stupid. It's stupid.
Well, we got to continue this conversation again because I need a part 2 with you, and we need to do a seminar. But I will say this: I just want to kind of piggyback off of what you just said, and I want to say that people, they don't realize that we have a natural endogenous system where we produce a certain amount of hormones at a certain rate, and when you introduce exogenous forms of anything, you're going to suppress your own body's ability to produce those things. And
That's
when
true.
you know, so people think, oh, more is better. But if you're not replacing something that's lost, like, you know, hormone replacement as you get older, like I get that. But if somebody is in their 20s and they are literally at the peak of production and they're introducing things, what's going to happen is they're going to suppress their own endogenous supply. True. And that could ruin them for life. That could, or take a lot of effort to rebuild and repair that. And that, I think, is what is unfortunate when somebody's really young and doesn't totally understand the way that the body works and functions, because that can really affect someone. And it shortens your lifespan of not just your life, but it shortens your lifespan of bodybuilding and be able to succeed in bodybuilding. Because as your body levels off at a different place with exogenous forms of whatever, now you're at a whole nother level playing field with yourself, and then you got to do more and more and more, and that's where your body shuts down.
It's true. It's very true. And but like you said, older person, because every decade we lose about 10% of our testosterone production. So when you get older, there is a need to do sometimes hormone replacement therapy. And we need to tell the girl, because the side effect in women is irreversible. Yeah. It's irreversible. I mean, men, like you said, when men start taking anabolics, their own production will shut down. It's true. Yes. So there is a way to do things under doctor supervision, and you have to be around smart, intelligent people. You just don't do that. Yeah, let's do, give me. I mean, it's like, that's what's going on in this world, right? today. I mean, that's why it's very important to be with someone been there, done that cares,
Yeah.
that wants you to be healthy. And my client get healthier when I swear, they come to me, they're fat, whatever, and then all of a sudden the holder, they look better and they're gaining with minimum if needed. So, you have to practice health, because really you got to be healthy as, again, we could do that for another.
I know. We're going to. I need to
talk about that.
I'm going to say this. I want to say that I appreciate you like crazy. I think, and I know that the industry appreciates you like crazy. It's honestly such an honor to have you and your wisdom here to be able to shape this next generation. We've been talking for a long time. I can't believe it. I mean, we really do need to continue this on, but I'm going to give you the final word. So whatever you want to say to your fans and your followers and everyone who loves you so much, you're going to get the final word.
The main topic was posing, and we went to other topics here.
That's okay.
But believe me, right now, posing is so important. Look, I'm not trying to advertise for you. The fact is, you need to be with someone that's practice elegant, that show you how to do every single pose right, and then show your transition. Don't just trust anybody on that. There's a lot of people tell you bullshit. They don't want to tell you the truth. They just want to take your money, and they really end up messing up instead of getting better. And really, one of my words that I would like to say, please, to some of the main official, to Jimmy Mannion, Jimmy has been a friend of mine since forever, maybe before you probably were born. I was the first time I was hanging out with Jim Mannion, even back when Gold Gym, we had a party, and Jim was just an official. He was a judge. And look at Jim. He loved the game, but I would love to tell Jim, we need to overhaul. We could do some changes in certain area. And I'm always happy to contribute in a constructive way. I love the game. I love bodybuilding. I want to see bodybuilding, the greatest things ever. And, and I know people like yourself cares also. I know, because you're doing it the healthy way, the natural way. And so, I'm just happy we did what we did for today. There's a lot more to discuss for women posing. Women should remain, you could be muscular as you want, but apply it with artistically, be like a ballerina, show the muscle in a pretty way.
Grab
this
the fish.
Is not pretty way.
Grab the fish.
Yes. Well, Wendy, it's really a pleasure talking to you, and then we will do more in the future. And we just want to wish everybody the very best. And really, I'm not being biased here because the old school. I learned from the older school.
Yes.
When I came to the sport, I was the new school, but I kept learning from my old school. Who's my old school? Jean Grimmick, Frank Zane, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Pearl, Vince Gironda. And you know what? Those were true master.
Yes.
And so I want this new kids to go back and follow similar. You don't always have to go with Samir. Look at Zane, look at Macau, look at the master, and be a master for yourself. And for the women, you go with someone, look, hey, just do me a favor. Follow Wendy and look at her images. And you know what? If I'm not right, then you can call me a bonehead. I know what I'm talking about, okay? So we'll stop on that. We will save some more for the future, Wendy.
Yes. Oh, man, we have so much. Definitely. Thank you so much, Samir. And don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to say goodbye to you on the flip side. But to everyone watching, thank you all so much. And this is going to stay up on our YouTube channel, so you can tune in and watch the whole thing later. And until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side.